How to describe, in 7 homes, this becoming of charity. This video is central. Afterwards, I will take things in detail, but here, I will try to say everything. In fact, since it is a marriage, when one enters the divine life, it is as if one is getting married. Well, we can notice that there are 2 ways to get married. First way, it's a marriage of reason. It means that we choose a husband. Not that we fell in love, but because we really want to make a project with him, have children, build a life. Well, that's what the first 3 houses of Saint Teresa of Avila describe. In the first house, we are full of zeal. We put his energy, we will succeed in this marriage. In the second home, we will face challenges, because life is long. Drought tests. It's hard, especially when you're a little growing. We do not have the feeling, very tender, that drives us to love it passionately. And then, third remains, we get used to it, to pacify. And so we love it in a very stable way. The third dwelling is a house of great fidelity, of people who have a lot of merit, because they love the Lord faithfully, without having ever felt his presence, but by loving him. And then, there are people who enter this marriage with a great passion. They fall in love. This is what does not inaugurate the fourth home. The fourth remains, attention. We love less than in the third house. It is another path. It's sailing with the wind. We fall in love. Well, in this fourth abode will happen events similar to those I described. The passion will last a few years. We would spend hours praying to the Lord. We feel his presence. It burns our hearts. And then, the passion will calm down. This is called the night of the senses. And there, many will suffer. Do I still love him? I do not feel anything anymore. I do not like it anymore. Some will give up. But those who remain faithful will arrive in the fifth house. This fifth dwelling being a little like the third home, a house of peace. We remain faithful when we do not feel anything anymore. But we remember that we felt. This is the big difference with the third home, where there is merit. It is a fidelity, whereas one has never felt anything. We could say that the purification is complete. People are stabilized. They have gone beyond the pleasure of loving God. Well, no, there are other purifications. Those who are in the third house and those who are in the fifth abode, will know at one time the fifth abode, the night of the Spirit. It means that, all of a sudden, the trial arrives, either in this world or in the other, where it does not make sense. One wonders if one has done well to believe. If it's true all this, it is a test of the mind. The night of the Spirit. Why does God allow this? Because he wants that at a certain moment, not only do we not love him just because of the pleasures he gives, but that we love him, I would say, by dispensing with the utility that he gives. It is not even useful anymore. We love him for himself, and so it's a terrible ordeal. Because, if it brings nothing, or if we have the impression, in this night of the Spirit, well, obviously this free love, we are not made for that. And then, some people give up. And others, on the contrary, remain faithful. They remain faithful to the point that only the Lord counts, and they die. They do not count. Then, they arrive in the seventh house, where, detached from everything, wanting only the good of the Lord and the good of the neighbor, well, they are as dead to themselves. Having experienced a moment of despair in this fifth home, they are without illusion on her. Their love is humble. They have reached what might be called the summit of spiritual life, as it may be on earth. Those who are in the seventh house, of course, when they arrive at the hour of death, when the King Jesus Christ comes to seek them, accompanied by saints and angels, no longer have to be purified. They know they are sinful. They are kneeling in advance. So he takes them directly into the beatific vision. As for those who are still, either at the third home or fifth, well, they will end to purify themselves in the next world. This is called purgatory. But it will be done. The Lord will arrive there. So, in heaven, these are people who only love God and neighbor and even contempt of oneself. They no longer count in their own eyes. As a result, they find eternal bliss.